Hello everyone, my name is Ishan Jolly, also known as the JollyLegend, and here are my settings and setup, and how to set up your Neumann MT48 audio interface for live streaming. So, I'll quickly go over gain and everything. So right now, microphone set to the gain you kind of like it at. I like these shotgun microphones, this DPA 2017 or MKH416. They got about the same sensitivity. I like it around 27 dB for my voice. And then, the one thing I do not like about the MT48 is that it just has a gate. I'd much rather prefer it was an expander, so you don't have this harsh, cut in, cut out. But hey, we work with what we have. We can turn that off and you can hear my background fan and such. And my breaths and all that. It's just yeah, okay, When there's music and stuff in the background, you probably can't tell as much. So if you want to run without the gate, you totally can. But let's have the gate on. I have the gate at -50. About 2 milliseconds of attack, 100 milliseconds of release, so it's not super sharp and sounds really weird and digital, but it's not super long and trails on for too long. And release, it's not straight away, which sounds kind of weird, and it's not too long, which just lets in a lot of noise. Compression, I've got -20 dB, 5:6 ratio, 2 milliseconds attack, 100 milliseconds release, and limiting -10 for then to boost up to -9. This is something really annoying. I really wish the limiter happened after the makeup gain, so you could really push it and always have it never clip, so you could set it to -1 limiter and then just really push the gain and drive it, but alas, the limiter comes before the makeup gain, so you can only limit the signal before you boost it. So you can't have it as driven, as loud, but I have a solution for that, because you're hearing it right now. And EQ-wise, this is the EQ I'm doing right now, the EQ I like, so low cut at the funny number, but anywhere around that range. And then I have a 5Q -3 dB peak at around 300 Hz. That kind of scoops out this low end from the low end region to about 1K, to the point where it's, about flat-ish at 2K, slight boost, whatever. And then finally, a pretty big peak at 11K, 5 dB, a Q of 4 just to really bring up that presence and make the voice sound nice and, big and boom and in your face. And this is the processing I'm doing on the Neumann MT48. Now, to set it up for live streaming, here is how I've got it. So Mix 1 has everything going into it. And something you may want to get, I strongly recommend you get, is something that lets you do mixing. So I have the Stream Deck with the dials, so I can use Wavelink. So I've got system, music, alerts, and voice chat. And then the dials on my Stream Deck are system, music, alerts, and Elgato Keylight. I just leave voice chat at max because I think other people's voice at 100% sounds fine to me. And then alerts, I've also put Adobe Edition on there for some reason, I don't know. Just I guess because maybe I was showing something on screen. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So alerts will be my OBS stuff, my OBS alerts, and I want that to be 100% because I've configured that to be the volume I want when making the alerts, so 100%. System is where basically everything goes through. So all my game sounds, browser sounds, etc. Watching a video, playing a game, all that goes through the system. Music, so Spotify and YouTube Music, will go through the system, go through this channel. And then I have it so it goes out to channel 1 and 2 in the Neumann audio interface. And then I've also got this little button here which lets me switch between my speakers and the Neumann audio interface. And therefore, all the audio, let's find some... I've been getting into Bollywood recently. So yeah. Stream beats. Let's get some royalty-free music. So there we go, music's in the background, and now you can see everything is going to this door 1. So the music is, and everything is now going through the Wavelink software to balance it all out, then Monitor Mix goes into channel out 1, which then goes into here, and then Mix 1 is what you want to send to OBS. So Mix 1 for me is channel 9 or 10. This does depend on what you've enabled or disabled. Bus routing? No, not there. Settings? Audio outputs? Nope. I set this up a while ago. But you mean if you have this interface? There we go. Okay, cool. So bus return mix 1 or 2, 1 is 910, so 910 goes to OBS. And then what I did was mix 2 is just the microphone without everything else, so everything else is muted. So this can go into Discord, Skype, WhatsApp, etc. So it's just the microphone processed by itself. And then mix 3 and mix 4 are the headphones. So right now these headphones, minus 19 dB, mix 4 going out of headphone number 2. And then my hi-fi man headphones, minus 9 going through the headphone amp 1. So you can switch between those two on the fly. This is muted right now. Oop, don't change the volume. But yeah, mix 1, and just make sure it's set to 0 dB, so it's just getting the full volume sent out to OBS. And there you go. So that's the settings in the Neumann software, or the Neumann web control, or whatever. It might vary, but this is the Neumann web control. So you go to Neumann, open the web app, and it'll open to this. And then the fun thing to do in OBS... Okay, we'll pause the music. I've got a bit of a cough right now, and my voice is tired because I was just streaming. Ignore that for the moment. Anyway, so this is how we get the good broadcast sound. Because we can't drive it so much in the compressor, what I do is use a plugin. So this plugin is LoudMax. I've set it to minus 8 dB threshold, and then I'll put it minus 1, so the max it'll go to is minus 1, so it'll never clip. And then it'll add in about 8 dB of gain, and just really maximize the loudness. As you can see right here, it's going at about minus 9, and then it's coming out at the minus 3 to 0 range, which is how I used to get on the Go XLR, which had the analog limiter built in, so I could really drive the compression. So yes, LoudMax, it's a free plugin, Max 64 VST. So there you go. Download the VST 2 plugin, and then install it, and then in OBS, add it in as a VST2 plugin, LoudMax 64, completely free, and there you go. Now you have a really nice, loud broadcast sound with a Neumann MT48. And the only issue is, where'd my EQ go? I don't know. What have I done? My EQ's gone. Oh, don't turn off that. EQ. Okay, there we go. Ignore me. I'm not an expert. But yeah, the only issue is the gate. But I guess turn the net gate off and it's like a natural sound. It's just my breaths and the computer fan. But I mean, hey, let's put the music back on. And we can turn it up a bit, and then I'm speaking up. And let's just go with something without vocals. So this music has its own noisy sound in it. Okay, cool. So now there's no gate running, but there's music running. So now I'm speaking of the music, and you can hear how the voice sounds like in relation to the music. And there you go. This is how I've set up my Neumann MT48 for live streaming in OBS. So, hope this helped you guys out, because this is a really complicated thing to use for streaming, so I really hope it helped you out. See you guys all later, and goodbye. And yes, I guess, if you don't have this wavelength software or a beacon software or whatever, then I guess you can set this to channel out 1, 2, and maybe you can use all these extra channels in the Neumann, but I don't know. I just like using these settings on the wavelength, because I think that's just a lot simpler. It's on my Stream Deck, super easy to use. But right, I hope this video helped you guys out. See you later, and goodbye.